Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth, and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia, and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam, and I'm rewatching for the negative first time. I actually watched it once, and then I watched it backwards twice, so now I'm watching it once again so that I can catch up to just 0 watches.
That is some timey-wimey stuff.
Look, I told you before we started recording that I was very tired.
This is why, all the time travel.
Exactly. A fourth voice?
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, I gave it away.
Who could it be?
Hi, I'm also named Adam, and I'm visiting from the Muppeturgy podcast, and I'm very excited to be here. I rewatched this episode, I guess, rewatched for the first time, watched for the second time in 40 years.
Hey!
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. We're really glad you're here.
Yeah!
Thanks.
So, for listeners who are unfamiliar with the Muppeturgy podcast, do you want to tell us a little bit about what y'all do over there?
We are a Muppet Show rewatch podcast, one of many that popped up when the Muppet Show appeared on Disney Plus. But you know, I like to think we're in the top 5. There are 4 of us, and we get real nerdy and real pedantic and pick the Muppet Show apart episode by episode. We go really deep on the guest stars and on all the music, and we have a good time. We're in season 4 right now. So if you can find us wherever you find podcasts or at muppeturgy.com. There are many GIFs and many links to the songs and stuff on there. So yeah, you can go back, and I actually don't know when this episode is coming out, but as we're recording, I think our Linda Lavin episode is coming up soon.
Awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoy the Muppeturgy podcast. It's exactly my brand of nerdery. And I love that you don't necessarily have to be a Muppet nerd already. You can be the type of person who just wants to sit back and let other people be the nerds for you.
You mean a business major?
Thanks. We take pride in our nerdery. I know we have folks who are watching along with us and other folks who are not. And you know, it's I think it's working for everybody. So
Nice.
Excellent. Well, we're so glad to have you here.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
So today we are talking about episode 14 of season 1, The Challenge.
The Challenge.
This originally aired on April 11th, 1983, written by the late, great Jerry Jewell, and directed by George Bloomfield.
Can I just say, I loved this Doc and Sprocket opener. It made me really happy. It also just made me so happy seeing how happy a Windows screensaver made Doc.
Excuse me, an Apple, well, I don't know what the screensaver was, but as somebody who was 7 when this aired, I had that computer. That is an Apple IIe, and just all of the nostalgia and all of the stats he gives about it.
Were they accurate stats?
I mean, I didn't look it up. I did look up that the Apple IIe was released in 1983, so that is real. But I definitely remember, 64 kilobytes of RAM.
Mm-hmm.
Plausible. And he talks about the peripheral slots on the motherboard. That was for sure a thing. The monitor was separate, and you lifted the top of that hunking thing off, and you could put in like a card that would let you get color on your monitor instead of the green one like I had. And
Ooh.
that like external floppy disk drive with actual floppy disks.
Oh, yeah.
It all made me very happy. I had all of that. I didn't have that joystick, but
Yeah, I didn't have that particular model, but my parents were definitely those nerds who bought a personal home computer as soon as a personal home computer was a thing you could buy. We had what was neither a Mac nor a PC. It was called an Amiga.
yes.
What?
Yeah. So many wonderful 80s games burned into my little 6-year-old memory.
That's awesome. I also love that he's like, we got a backup system, and then he just pulls out an abacus.
I clocked that too, yeah.
Well, and all the software he got, like the filing and counting software, it's very near and dear to my adult heart, if not my 7-year-old heart.
Yeah. So the list of software that Doc has for this computer are Sort and File, Inventory Wizard, Statistics, Boolean Algebra, and Zombie Attack. The description of which is, chase the alien zombies through outer space, hurling flaming marshmallows. And if we have any listeners out there who are coders, please make this a functional game that looks like it came right out of 1983. I have a mighty need.
This has to exist, right? Somebody has to have made that.
Okay, I missed that description up top because later Doc does mention a marshmallow while they're playing, and I had so many questions, but knowing that it's actually embedded in the description of the game answers all of my questions. Well, maybe not all of my questions, but most of my questions. Yeah. Yeah, I liked this opener for the two of them. We've talked a lot about Doc and how he is as a dog owner, but this one, Sprocket, comes back from, going for a run chasing the neighborhood cat, and Doc, congratulates him a little bit, and then they kind of just delve into the computer together, and it feels a little bit more copacetic than previous openers that we've gotten.
You just used the word copacetic casually in a sentence.
I did.
I'm so glad you're on this podcast.
Poetry. You gotta learn some words sometimes.
Darn right. But yeah, no, I was gonna say there was no anger at Doc in this. I mean, there's the competitive and yeah, okay, you're getting competitive with your dog about a video game, but it's kind of cute. It's kind of sweet.
If I had a dog that can play video games, I might compete with my dog.
If I had a dog that could play video games, I would make millions as a Twitch streamer.
That's true. And who hasn't been there with a good friend where you play the game and you get a score you're so proud of, you feel so good about yourself, and then your friend just whizzes on by that score in a matter of seconds, if we're Doc and Sprocket. So, of course, you're naturally going to get a little competitive. And I felt that was more relatable than something I was frustrated with Doc about.
That I experience that on a regular basis. Me and my friends are playing a roguelike, and we'll routinely be like, all right, what was your most damage done at the end of the game? And there's a high score right now of 1.4 billion total damage in the run that nobody else has managed to touch. And so I get to be the dude who's flexing about making the colors and shapes on the screen a cool pattern. I should probably go touch some grass.
All right, anything else about Doc and Sprocket before we move on to the Fraggles?
And Sprocket's real cute, but that's a given.
Sprocket is real cute, and he has gotten a slight makeover since the first 12 episodes. I think they changed his eyebrows a little bit, so he looks less sad. He's a little more expressive.
Speaking of changes, how long does Gobo's hat stick around? Does it?
It's not that it sticks around per
Does
se.
It
it's
just
that
come and go?
It comes and goes, yeah.
Because I don't know if I knew about the haircut. I knew the haircut was coming with the return from the hiatus in the first season, but the hat was a surprise, and I couldn't remember if this is just a one-off look for a little bit, or if it comes and goes, or if it sticks around for a long time and then he loses it. Because when I think of Gobo, I don't think of him with a hat on, but yeah, it's a look that he is pulling off in this episode.
He's also carrying his little guitar or banjo thing the entire episode, which I found a little weird, but it also sort of feels like...
I didn't track that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. I watched the second time and I noticed it, and I feel like they just dressed the puppet for the episode, and that's it. Everything's staying on.
I did note that Gobo has major guitar guy energy, especially in the first part of this episode. So
it's rough.
I will say the guitar playing's great.
Yeah.
I really, if I could just listen to a clip of that, I totally would.
Yeah, so this is an instrumental song called Noodlin' Nut, apparently. We can all...
Wow.
Snark quietly to ourselves about that one.
Uh-huh.
So tell us about Noodlin' Nut, Beth.
That's all we need to know about it.
Oh, okay.
It was written by the same people who wrote the two songs in this episode, right?
Yeah. So the musical team of Fraggle Rock is Dennis Lee writing the lyrics, Philip Balsam writing the music, and Don Gillis is the musical director. So yeah, we should rewind a tad to where Red comes in and what she's complaining about.
So, yeah, to kick off the episode with the Fraggle segment, basically they're all prepping for a picnic, but Red comes in and she's got, a swim competition, a swim race on the same day, and she's like, but I want to go to the picnic, but, she also doesn't want to not do her swim thing. And essentially she gets frustrated that Gobo's the leader and gets to make all of the decisions, and she doesn't get to have any say.
Yeah, which is a really solid setup, and it's a really nice way to introduce the theme of, like, leadership and what that is and what it looks like. But also, Boober's playing along to the jam session, and he's playing along while, like, by doing laundry on his washboard, and that made me so happy to
I
see.
didn't notice that. I love that.
It was so good.
I love that so much.
Boober's got some great lines in this episode.
I love Boober. I always loved Boober, and to come back to this as an adult, I still love Boober, maybe even more. I am Boober.
This is a great like, it's not a Boober episode, but it's a great episode to highlight Boober. Like, when we get to the part where Red's like, well, I'm gonna be the leader for today. I'm gonna declare it. And then I think Boober's the one that says argument nothing. It's an attempted coup and, like, runs out. It's great.
Yep.
And there's a lot more great lines in the Gorg's Garden as well from him.
That line hits differently nowadays.
Doesn't it just?
It does hit differently, yeah, with attempted coup. It brings up to light something else. But for the time and for the situation, it's a little bit lighter.
I also just, like, I really appreciate that they're having this argument around the Doozers building their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just set dressing, it's a reiteration of world building. And then there's a really amazing line at the end, which there's, like, a little traveling mat segment in there that we should probably touch on. But there's a line at the end after they, like, huff off through the Doozer bridge where Boober apologizes to the Doozers and says, yeah, we'll be back later to eat up this mess. And it's like, oh my goodness, understanding of cross-cultural values is rising.
Interspecies progress. So real quick, like, Julia, you talking about Gobo as a guitar guy really made me laugh. I feel like Gobo in this particular episode is activating my dislike of the de facto leader trope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thinking about the shows or the media that I consumed as a kid, whenever there was, like, a group of friends with a de facto leader, if it was Gobo or Jake and the Animorphs or
Fred and the Mystery Gang.
Fred and the Mystery Gang.
The gang in It.
A state of million miles away from horror. If anyone out there watched The Wuzzles, Bumble Lion. Anyway, the de facto leader character was always my least favorite. I always found them boring.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, now that I'm, rereading the Animorphs as an adult, I'm like, oh, wow, Jake's got some stuff going on. He's got layers to him. I appreciate him more.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say, look, I'll key into all of those, but you keep your filthy mitts off of Jake from Animorphs.
Yeah,
that poor boy went through so many difficult things.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much more than I realized there. And it made me wonder, like, oh, like, are there people out there who do identify with that, de facto leader trope growing up? Or is it just us, like, marginalized weirdos who identify with the weirdos of the group?
Possibly. That's a really interesting question, actually.
I don't identify with it, but I do remember experiencing it. Not as the leader, but as a member of the group.
Yeah.
Right? I do think it's a thing that happens.
I feel like they don't necessarily identify as de facto leader as much as, like, well, nobody else is going to make these decisions, so I guess I have to.
Mm-hmm.
But
we talk a lot of Muppet. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, but I'm still talking about Jake instead of Gobo. I feel like Gobo's just kind of a jerk at this point. You were saying, Adam.
Gobo is kind of jerky.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We talk a lot of Muppeturgy about what a dick Kermit is, but, like, Kermit also, like, has a job.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he is it's not de facto, he is the boss. And whether he's a good manager or not is a whole other podcast. But, like, I got real Kermit vibes from Gobo, only, like, no one has given him that task. He's not, signing anyone's paychecks. And it's, like, just on a logistical level, it's like, you decide to have this picnic, you didn't check whether everybody could come.
Mm-hmm.
She has a swim meet, and then he's like, well, so come to the picnic instead of going to the swim meet. Like, a swim meet involves a bunch of other people, or Fraggles, and maybe a team of some kind. And, like, she can't just do that. And, he doesn't say don't go. She says move the picnic to tomorrow, and he says move the swim meet to tomorrow. She can't do that. Like, he's being totally unreasonable, and it really bugged me. Very much Team Red in that scene.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
his only reason for being the leader is that he reasons like, oh, because of my uncle, and so that makes me a great leader. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
Right, and also your uncle's an idiot.
But nepotism is a great way to decide leadership, right? It's worked out so well for all of the empires that collapsed and crumbled, and all the corporations that got completely driven into the ground.
Yeah.
Yep. No errors there.
It does work pretty well in Hollywood. I'll give them that.
Does it?
I mean,
Does it? Does it? Did you see Morbius?
I didn't actually. So,
Cool.
point made.
I feel like there's some data just to help inform the decision there. Anyways.
But that guy on The Boys and Lower Decks, he's doing very well. Anyway, I had a thought and it went away. Oh, Gobo. I appreciate Gobo's argument of like, I have these maps and this knowledge, but that's only an argument for why like this particular day trip should happen, not why he should be in charge all the time or why he should get to control the entire calendar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So they decide that they're going to go to, and I think it's Boober's idea to go to the trash heap.
I think so.
Yes. Well, it's like he's like, I can't believe this argument is so terrible. Only the trash heap could make sense of it. And then Gobo and Red are like, oh, that's a great idea. We should go to the trash heap.
Yeah. Oh, we're skipping the postcard. Whoops.
I didn't get the postcard in my episode.
Yeah. There's a reason for that.
No, they cut it. I mean, we should talk about this.
Because they
cut it from Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, I watched it on Apple TV Plus, and I didn't realize until the end, and I was looking over my notes, I was like, wait, I didn't take any notes on the postcard. And then I did see on Muppet Wiki that it's taken off of some streaming sites and such, but I don't know what happened in the postcard, and I don't know the reason why it was cut.
Oh, strap in.
Oh, boy. All right.
Because that happened, I was like, wait, isn't there always a Traveling Matt bit? And so I went and watched it on YouTube. And I do have to say, they cut it really skillfully.
Yeah.
Because they actually moved some dialogue to be over a different shot, which is a thing you can do with puppets, so that everything would line up correctly. So good job for that. However.
However.
Do you want me to explain it? Do you guys want
Yes,
to explain
please.
it? Okay.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Traveling Matt has discovered what's he called them? The fire people?
Yeah, creatures that light fires in their mouths.
And they then expel smoke through sticks. So he's like at an outdoor restaurant and everyone is smoking. And then one man lights a cigar, which don't light a cigar. Like even in the 80s when there was a smoking section, like don't smoke a cigar at a restaurant.
Oh, mouth burners. He calls them
mouth
the
burners. Thank you. The man with the cigar has a coughing fit, and Traveling Matt throws a large beer stein of water on him because he believes his fire has gotten out of control and he needs help. It's real weird, and it's also actually weird that they cut it because it's obviously an anti-smoking message. I have never smoked a cigarette or a cigar in my life, but I think the point is if you do it all the time, you're good at it. And every single one of these smokers is just hacking the entire scene. It's really weird on every level.
Oh no, they're bloody miserable. And it's interesting because I quit cigarettes in 2020, and usually whenever I see cigarettes in like TV or media, I'm like, oh, man, I miss cigarettes. And this time I was like, wow, what? Okay.
And just like knowing that I'm older than you guys, like to establish where we are in time, like at this time, both my parents smoked in the apartment that I lived in. Like my mom quit when she was pregnant and then immediately started again after I was born. Oh. And then my dad passed away and my mother quit smoking like shortly after this, like the following year. But like, yeah, it was totally normal to have like a 5-year-old in a house that was just completely full of smoke and nobody thought twice about it. So...
Yeah, did anyone else catch the tidbit on Muppet Wiki that one of these mouth burners is Cheryl Henson, daughter of Jim Henson?
No.
Oh, I saw her name on IMDb, but didn't realize who she was in this, yeah.
Yep.
How old would Cheryl Henson have been? Like a rough guess?
She would have been a young adult, like 20s.
Okay.
Because like she and Brian were doing work on the Muppet Show by the end of it, so...
Okay. So, because I didn't see this, and so I don't have the full context besides what y'all have told me, what is like, usually with Matt's postcards, there's a tie to the bigger story at hand. What's the tie-in with the rest of the challenge episode, would you say?
Great question.
If there is one.
I don't see one, honestly.
So, I don't think there's a connection between the content of what Matt experienced and... what the rest of the Fraggles are experiencing. The only connection we get is that Gobo says that, he's fit to be the leader because my Uncle Traveling Matt taught me about so many things, like how to think fast and take decisive action in times of crisis, like when he met the mouth burners.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a literal postcard either. It's just Gobo telling the story.
Yeah, he's just recalling it from memory. Yeah.
Interesting. And then it just goes into something that Matt has learned about. Okay. I mean, we have seen postcards where it's not super directly linked with the themes of the rest of the plot, but usually there is some like tether, so I wasn't sure if maybe there was something I was missing.
The closest thing to a tether, I think, is that so Red dismisses this as a fairy tale.
Yes.
And that's where they cut it really nicely is, Gobo still says that time he met the Mouthburners, and then it goes right to Red saying that's a fairy tale. And I guess that ties into the genie stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I see. I was going to say, if you're trying to use dunking a cigar person in water as an example of quick thinking and decisive leadership, you don't understand quick thinking or decisive leadership. And that feels quite accurate to the theming of this particular episode.
Yeah.
Also feels quite accurate to how Traveling Matt exists in outer space.
Yep. So they go to the trash heap.
They try to go to the trash heap.
You're right. They never actually get there.
One of my other Fraggle memories is that the trash heap was huge in our house. Big fans. And so I was really excited and then really disappointed.
Oh no!
Oof.
Yeah, we get no trash heap. We also get no Moki in this episode.
Yeah, they mention her, but we don't ever see her.
And we only get Wembley at the very start for just the one scene with Red claiming leadership.
A fun fact from the wiki, this episode has the most mentioned but unseen characters. Moki, the Trash Heap, Ned Schimmelfinney, and Fluffinella.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Well, and for me, Matt, there was no Matt when I watched it. And so I noted how this episode, because of like the lack of characters and it kind of just being contained in the Gorg's Garden for the brunt of the episode, it felt like, it just felt so contained and almost, I don't know, zoomed in on just these three and then the Gorgs as well. And so it felt different than all the other episodes I'd watched before. And it's funny because this is like, I remember bits and pieces of all the other episodes we've watched, but I have a really clear memory of a lot of this episode from watching 10 years ago. I remember the songs in this one more so than a lot of the other songs we've heard. I remember some of Boober's one-liners when they're in the Gorg's Garden exactly, and I remember quoting them to friends when I was in college. And there's something about this episode that is stuck out to me when I was younger, and it was interesting to like revisit it and be like, oh, I remember this one, as opposed to previous episodes where I was like, I don't remember any of this, so this is like re-experiencing it for the first time.
I do actually remember the smoking scene, the Charlie Matt scene. And I wonder if that like made its way around Twitter or something, and more recently, because I can't imagine remembering that from 40 years ago.
It is also interesting. Just getting back to the thing, they start an argument and get caught because they're being loud in the Gorg's Garden, which also happens in the other episode that we watched. Like that happens, the same thing with different characters, granted. With the exact two characters that aren't here, that happens.
Whoa!
That's, I don't know what to make of that, but it feels important.
We also normally, anytime we kind of get that green screen of the Fraggles walking and either arguing or chatting, and then they get spotted by a Gorg before they realize it, it's always Junior, and this time it was Pa, which was, a little interesting twist that Pa's the one who's going to catch them this time, when we're more used to them interacting with Junior Gorg.
With his crown made of whisks.
The music while they're sneaking is very Labyrinth. Just the score music. I appreciated that. Place us in time.
You mentioned his crown. Another fun fact is that Pa Gorg spends this episode in Ma Gorg's crown from the first 12 episodes instead of his regular crown.
Does he go back to his regular crown after this?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I saw that, but I couldn't remember if this is just his new look. Everyone's getting new looks, especially Ma Gorg. Ma Gorg looks great.
I was going to say, she doesn't have a crown, right? She's got that sort of messy updo.
Yes, she's got the bun in her hair, but she looked very different in the first 12 episodes of the season with like giant bug eyes, and her hair was down, and they really gave her a glow up.
Yeah, I love the hair.
Adam, I'm going to send you a link to Ma Gorg because her glow up is quite the journey.
Oh, other Adam. I was.
Oh, right.
Who's on first?
Well, I closed my browser because it was. Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah,
that's much better.
Yeah.
They got some notes and they applied those notes.
She goes from looking like Barney meets Grendel to someone's cool, like, vaguely conservative Midwestern aunt.
Yep. I love that her updo has 2 ping pong paddles in the back, as if they were fancy combs.
I didn't notice that. That's amazing.
Oh, is that what they were?
Yeah, I didn't notice that either.
Yep. I mean, she also has 2 big, what look like knitting needles.
That's what I spotted. Yeah, I didn't realize there was something else on the back. That's great. I gotta say, I don't really care for the Gorgs.
At this point, nor should you.
Yeah, I mean, I realize they're the villains of the piece, but like...
I think we get some really solid puppeteering for Junior's facial expressions.
Yeah, from a puppetry standpoint, it's great. And another thing I remember from childhood is there was like a behind-the-scenes thing they would run on HBO sometimes, which I'm sure is now on YouTube. And even like knowing how it all works, like actually I was like, how heavy is that head? Like I just kept thinking about like all the electronics inside of it. But like they look great, but I find them so unappealing on a show that has a literal trash heap as a character. And Junior especially, I mean, just like what an unpleasant voice to have to listen to. I'm actually really surprised it was Richard Hunt. I mean, I guess it speaks to his versatility as an actor, but oof.
Aww.
Yeah, they're definitely like made to come off as wrong. Kind of like how a lot of Dark Souls bosses are specifically designed to be unsettling. Like the Gorgs very much feel like you took all of the various sort of like physical traits that we would associate with that type of like posturing and masculine and patriarchal and king culture, and we just sort of cranked them like to the strongest possible extreme they possibly could.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean they're the foils for the Fraggles. They're supposed to be pretty much the polar opposites. I guess like Fraggles, Doozers, and Gorgs, kind of like they all operate in different realms, and like the Gorgs are just like these extreme versions of toxic masculinity and all of these. They want to like control the universe. We've talked a bit about that in the past, even though it seems like they control absolutely nothing, but they put themselves on pedestals. Pa's really like not great to Junior, although he is sad when he thinks Junior's dead for a second, which was kind of nice, I suppose.
He's very upset.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because he's like, immediately he sees Fraggles and he's like, oh, I'm gonna capture these Fraggles, my kid likes Fraggles. And then he goes, oh, here comes my beautiful wife and my semi-beautiful son. And it's like, dude, really? Come on.
Yeah.
True though. It's part of it is like that he is clearly an adult, right? Like he's taller than Pa. Like there's a weird like fail son aspect to that character.
I've always read him as more of like a teenager. Sometimes like teens just like shoot up and
Yeah, that's true. He could be.
Yeah.
This is not a fully formed thought because it just came to me, but I think the Gorgs are Commedia dell'arte characters.
Oh.
Or like not stereotypes. What's that word?
Caricatures?
Not that one either, but closer. Archetypes.
Yeah.
Commedia dell'arte archetypes.
Archetypes, okay.
And, I just thought of this and I'm not going to do any research, but to bring the Muppeturgy to it.
You don't have to, because you're correct. The actors that they hired to work in the suits were like people with experience in clowning and Commedia dell'arte.
Amazing. But there's like an oaf is one of them, and there's like the king who is always befuddled, and these are actually pretty standard tropes.
I also like that we get to hear some of their mythology. Like we've gotten some Fraggle lore. Now we're getting some Gorg lore. Gorg lore. Gorg lore.
Gorgish lore.
If you add an ish there, it gets away. Gorgish lore. That's great, but Gorg lore.
Gorg lore. Oh, no, that's terrible to say. Gorg lore.
Yeah, it's a bad mouth sound.
Yeah,
bad mouth feel.
That's actually a creature on Dagobah in Star Wars, the Gorg lore.
Is it really?
No, it's not. I made that up.
It is actually quite close to Adventure Time's version of Cthulhu.
Huh.
Listeners, now that I know there's multiple of you, good God, mark your bingo card for Adam references Adventure Time. But yeah, I like that we get to hear some of the Gorgish lore, and that it includes wish-granting genies. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think this is also the first time we see Junior complaining in earshot of Ma and Pa Gorg about his duties. Because we've seen him complain a little bit about them, but it's always been after they leave. This is like they're walking away and he's yelling really loudly and like, yeah, the proletariat is restless and discontent. Go for it, Junior. You have nothing to lose but your chains.
Oh, absolutely.
So the Fraggles are trapped under a basket and they're trying to figure out how to get out there. And it's like, oh, suddenly our leadership skills have stakes attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
Aha.
Which one of us is going to actually do the leadership good?
Yep.
Turns out neither of them.
So Junior gets this brief little song,
Not brief enough.
which is called Dum Dee Dum 2, parentheses, I Wish I Had a Genie. So this is not the same tune or structure as the first Dum Dee Dum song in episode 107, but it is very similar.
I did not care for it. I did not think it was a good song.
I like the bass line.
I mean, it does have a good bass line, but yeah, it's not outstanding.
No.
It serves the purpose.
Speaking of bass lines, not to derail us, but I assume you've talked about this at some point. The theme song still slaps.
Yeah.
And that bass line
Theme song
is amazing.
goes so hard.
It's wonderful.
Literally that exact wordage in our first episode.
Fantastic. I'm so glad to hear it.
Beth, does this song come back at some point? Am I making that up?
I don't think so.
I must be thinking
Let me
of
double check.
For some reason, I thought that further down the line, there was a song that Pa sings that, and like this, like kind of also comes back into it. But I might just be thinking of an entirely different song.
So that's actually earlier. The one.
Am I thinking of a song that we've already seen in an episode?
Oh no! Wait! You're right. Okay. So the first Dum Dee Dum song is in episode 107 when Junior's singing about like just wanting to catch Fraggles. And then you're right. I have a distinct memory of Junior doing the background like dum dee dum dee dum dee dum dee dum, while Pa is singing about how awful his son is.
Yeah, that's the memory, and I don't know when or where it will pop up, but I just wanted to confirm that that's not just in my head. Or
that is not just in your head.
Okay, cool.
Don't remember which episode it's in, and I can't find it right now.
That's okay. Is this also the first time like a Gorg gets a solo song?
No, because the previous Dum Dee Dum song was also Junior singing by himself.
Okay. I guess that technically counts as a motif.
Yeah. And Junior will get more
yeah.
songs of his own, yeah.
But yeah, so they're in the basket and they are planning to lift the basket to escape, and then Junior sits on the basket, further trapping them and making it harder for the escape. And then basically Red enacts a plan where she tells him that there is a magical genie under the basket. And he says the line, "My bottom is talking to me," and I laughed out loud so hard.
That one made me very happy. He also sounds so excited. He's like, oh, my bottom is talking to me. And it's like, oh, buddy, you need a friend.
Yeah.
Can we get Junior a dog or something?
Something.
So Red convinces Junior that she is the voice of the magical genie that he was just daydreaming about, that he wish he had a genie. And his wishes are, in this order, a new pumpkin knife,
A sharper pumpkin knife.
A sharper pumpkin knife to meet his most immediate and practical need to make his life easier. Makes sense. 2, a pony.
Which he would kill if he sat on.
See, I thought the opposite. I thought, a Gorg-sized pony! How cool would that be?
Okay,
That's just a horse.
No, Gorgs are huge.
Wait, but Gorgs are huge to Fraggles. Aren't they human-sized?
No.
No, they're big to humans, too.
In terms of, there's a human in the suit, but the missing species in that line each is knee-high to another. So a Doozer is knee-high to a Fraggle is knee-high to a human, and a human is knee-high to a Gorg.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
I didn't quite...
They're way bigger than I
From seeing
thought.
Traveling Matt with the humans, I didn't quite get all of that.
But yeah, so a pony.
A pony, so just pure selfish joy for himself. And then number 3, peace in the universe. Lovely. And then number 4 is a gift for his abusive father.
Yeah, Junior's honestly, I don't know. Junior seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
I have been warming up to Junior as a character significantly over the last few episodes. And I'm like, yeah, you seem nice and kind when you don't need to be sometimes. And most of your meanness seems to come out of a lack of understanding or the culture you grew up in.
Well, I was just going to say he's been raised in this toxic environment where he's, it's learned that, like, oh, I should, thump some Fraggles from his awful father. And we get glimpses into, like we've seen a bit with gardening, and that'll be more of a thing, and his other interactions with Fraggles, that maybe there's a bit more softness there, which, assuming we'll see a lot more of that as we go along.
I did find it interesting, just dropping in here, that when Pa catches the Fraggles, he said, Junior loves to play with Fraggles. right? Like he doesn't necessarily, at least in this episode, want to do them harm. I imagine he would, like letting in the rabbits, but it's the intention seems good on both Pa and Junior's part with the Fraggles. And it also made me wonder, like, has he ever caught one? Like, how does Pa know that he likes to play with them? What did he do? Has he killed dozens of Fraggles in the past? This is how my brain works. I'm sorry.
He's definitely caught of the 5, like, main Fraggles, he's caught them several times in previous episodes, and he's talked a lot about thumping them or smashing them with his club, but obviously we've never seen that. He's never been successful.
Right. But that's what I remember, so I thought the play line was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We get to the bit where Pogor comes back and he's like, who are you talking to? And Junior's like, no one. And in all caps, I just wrote, yes, keep secrets from the ruling class.
Yeah. So he doesn't tell Pa why he refuses to let Pa pick the bucket up. Because Pa wants to be like, hey, I caught you these Fraggles. But Junior is convinced that there is a genie under it who will, if you lift the bucket, will make your ears fall off.
Mm-hmm. That's what Red says to save their skin.
He's like, to protect my daddy's ears, I will sit on this bucket forever.
Do we ever see any Gorg ears?
No, they all fell off because of the genies.
I think Junior has visible ears.
I could
be making that up.
I think they're all either like tiny and hidden under their shaggy hair or internal, like a whale.
Or like Kermit the Frog.
Well, then how could they fall off?
Oh, there you go.
They do that classic sitcom misunderstanding thing where Pa says, oh, I have a surprise for you under the basket. And Junior says, you know what's under the basket? Thinking he's talking about the genie.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pa just lets it go. So they got in there fairly cleanly. Oh, you're right. I'm looking at a picture. Junior does not have visible ears.
I really like all the physical comedy. Like, it was a really solid, like, old school clowning slapstick.
Yeah, the Gorgs do that really well.
That felt really good. I got to go to clown school like a little bit when I was a kid, and we learned a bit of stuff like that. And it's very fun. It's good fun.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
It was really cool.
So yeah, basically Pa goes off like and is confused about why Junior won't let him lift the bucket. And Junior sits back on and is like, I'm gonna sit on this basket until I die. And then their solution is he keeps sneezing. He's been sneezing throughout the episode. And Red tells him that if he sneezes one more time, he'll die.
I think it's Gobo who tells him. Gobo asks if he can take a turn being the genie.
Oh, is it Gobo?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It is Gobo. Because Junior's like, your voice sounds different, Genie. Well, oh well. And then, yeah, he tells him that he'll die. And Junior responds, I don't want to die. I have other plans.
Which is a great reason to not want to die.
That is true.
Yeah.
Back when I started making Fraggle Rock quote TikToks in my brief foray into TikTok, I was making one for like every month of 2020, and the one for March of 2020 was this quote of, I don't want to die, I have other plans.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't die, because we get to be those other plans.
Aww.
Aww.
Gosh darn it. Oh, shucks. Oh, yeah, and then Junior gets this other great line of, he just panics and falls down and then declares calmly, this is very interesting. Being dead feels just like being alive.
Yeah, which...
Not very smart, our Junior.
No.
He's really not.
He's not had a lot of exposure to existence.
That's true, too.
Very sheltered child. But yeah, so he falls down, and so now they can get out from under the basket, but he's blocking their way back into the Fraggle hole.
So they do a tickle.
They tickle him, and it doesn't work. And that's one of the things that I actually really appreciate about this episode is there's a lot of weird mistakes that things would seem like a good idea, and then it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like life. Like life do.
Life is trial and error.
Like life do.
I was a little confused, and this might have had to do with like the blue screen stuff, but like I didn't understand why they couldn't go around him. That was really unclear to me.
I think he was like lying right up against it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That was my read on it anyways. But yeah, they decide they're like, oh, no. Oh, that's what it is. Boober has an amazing moment, and he's like, look, we're trying to manipulate this guy. Show some respect. He thinks he's dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Gobo's like, Boober, he only thinks he's dead. He's not really dead. And Boober's like, I know, but I have great sympathy. The Grim Reaper comes to us all.
So many good Boober lines.
Yeah, that was a very Gonzo line.
Yeah.
Not a complaint.
Yeah.
So then Boober starts singing a funeral dirge, and they're like, Boober, where did you learn a funeral dirge? And he says, I composed it in honor of my own departure. And this is honestly my favorite song in the entire episode.
Mm-hmm.
I love this one. I honestly stopped and was like, is that actually a song? Are they just singing a regular song? But no, it was composed for the show. It's just very stylistically accurate to stuff of that particular time, including the faster version.
Did I hear this wrong, or did they refer to Dixie wailing?
That's the name of the song.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the name of the song. So, yeah, let's talk about that fact.
More than the term Dixie being a thing we don't really use anymore, I was just curious as to what it means in Fraggle World.
Mm-hmm. So, the major inconsistencies that we've tracked so far come almost entirely from song lyrics.
Mm.
In that, Fraggles would have no reason to know what a tiger is, or what
ice cream
is. And in this case, they would have no reason to know what Dixieland music is, or the word Dixie at all, and what that means to, hey, non-American listeners.
Right.
Here's a little bit about what that word means, and why it's not great to use anymore, and why country trio The Chicks took it out of their name. That it does refer specifically to the time in American history in the South when Black Americans were enslaved, and for white Southerners can give this air of nostalgia and how do you?
It's a sort of like fascist style, things used to be good, callback to specifically white Southern aristocracy who could maintain the lovely carefree lifestyle they had because they did no work ever because they were enslaving people.
Yeah.
Right. So nowadays we refer to that music style as New Orleans jazz.
Which, to get back on track, this song I don't think really was. I'm not an expert, but that also made the use of the word.
Decently was.
Was it? Okay. Great.
Yeah. I'm not, most of the blues I know isn't necessarily New Orleans, but I've listened to enough to know that like funeral dirge and then faster funeral dirge is very New Orleans.
That makes sense, yeah.
So this song does have a couple of covers, if you want to check those out. One of them was on the album that we've talked about before, Do It On Our Own.
I have found 3 versions in the iTunes store.
Ooh, you found 3 versions. Tell me.
I found 3 songs with the title in the iTunes store. I have not played them. One is by Spencer Moody, one is by the Upstart Crows, and one is a live version by the Gold Hope Duo.
Ooh.
Entirely possible that they are different songs with the same title because we're recording a podcast, so I'm not. Oh, and another one by the Barnacle Boys.
Interesting.
It's a great name.
Yeah, the only ones I knew about were the one by Gold Hope Duo and...
Oh, the Spencer Moody one is from a whole Fraggle Rock covers album.
Yes, that's the one from Do It On Our Own. And that one is really cool. It's got some very dark vibes.
Huh.
Alrighty, so they sing this song. It's a good song. And Junior gets up and dances and sings with them. And I think this is the first interspecies song we've had aside from the theme song.
We've gotten a little bit of doozers singing along if they happen to be around, but this is definitely the first Gorg Fraggle musical crossover.
Yeah, and it's really sweet. It made me really happy.
Yeah.
Booper's gets upset that the song that he started singing stops being sad because Junior's like, hey, I want to dance to this song, and so they make it a whole lot more lively, and then Booper's just bummed about it, which is great.
Big Booper energy.
Then also, Pa has seen that, Gorg has quote-unquote died and run off, and then he brings Ma back, and they stand there crying for a second, even though Junior's dancing in front of them, and it takes them a moment to be like, oh wait, our son is alive, and they're very happy about it, which is nice in comparison to all the other interactions we've seen with, especially Junior and Pa Gorg at this point.
Yeah. And what I don't like about this episode is that, so I like that, so as the Gorgs keep singing, Gobo and Red tell each other, hey, nice going, boss. They call each other boss, acknowledging that they each have leadership qualities. But I don't feel like that was quite enough of a resolve for the fight that they had earlier.
I kind of liked it, because I feel like up till now, with all of the lessons that are learned by the Fraggles, there usually is almost like a neat little bow of like, they never are like, this is the lesson I learned, but they basically like sum it up in conversation or with someone giving a speech or something.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, they kind of just, they leave and that's the end of it. And it just felt maybe for me a bit like true to life, that sometimes there isn't like a natural, like a big resolve to anything. It just naturally like kind of wraps itself up, and you know, maybe we'll see a bit how this affects their relationship in the future, but maybe we won't. It just felt like they were trying something a little bit different in comparison to previous episodes, which I found really interesting. So I guess I don't know if I liked it or didn't like it, but I did find it very compelling just because it's something new that we haven't really seen before.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
I did feel like the episode ended really abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's partly because I watched it the first time without the traveling Matt scene, so it was even shorter than normal. But yeah, I had that same sense. I appreciated there wasn't like a heavy-handed lesson, but
right.
I also had a moment of like, wait, what? It's over?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually a little bit like, they usually give you a scene after or something along, like you get a little bit more breathing room before the credits roll.
I did like at the end the tie-in with Doc and Sprocket.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they've basically spent the whole episode competing with each other to get the highest score in Zombie Attack. And so they cut back when Doc is basically like kicking out Ned Schimmelfinney and saying, how dare he come over here and win 1,600,000 points on our Zombie Attack game. So basically they're now united by a common enemy of Ned Schimmelfinney.
That also means that, like, because of the way those video games worked, he's going to be on the high scoreboard, and they're going to have to look at his high score every time they open the game.
Yep.
Which is harsh.
Yeah. That's a weird flex from their neighbor to come over and just dunk on them and leave with, his score on their game.
I mean, not going to lie, if Doc was my neighbor, I would totally do that. Schimmelfinney puts up with a lot.
I will say, I don't think that's how it would have worked on the Apple IIe. I don't think you could really save anything. I had the same thought, because everything's on a floppy disk that would have been
fair
copy protected. You could, we can go deep down this rabbit hole. You put a piece of Scotch tape over the little tab if you wanted to recycle a disk and write over it, but then you wouldn't have your game anymore. But yeah, also at one point there's a Pac-Man sound, like a very distinct Pac-Man sound comes out of that computer.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Which, it's incorrect, but I appreciate it as the most 1983 thing that could have happened. So
yeah, I caught it too.
I did not. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, so they decide to instead start playing a game that they can play together.
Like Galaxy Pirates?
A game called Galaxy Pirates, yes. You and your co-pilot, then they look at each other excitedly, try to outrun the Venusian warthogs.
Which, like, yeah, that's the natural way that evolution goes. Any species that starts engaging in cooperation over competition will inherently have a significantly higher edge over any other species that's solely gauged in individualistic competition. And that's why America is so dang toxic.
Yup.
Oh, it's the law, natural selection. Natural selection means get together in communal groups.
like the Fraggles. We've brought it back
like
around.
Like the Fraggles.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
There it is. So quick note on the international versions.
Yes.
In the French version, Doc and Croquette are entranced by a new video game system, but are reluctant to take turns with the sole controller. After Croquette sets a record, the system short-circuits. Doc repairs it and adds a second controller so the pair can play together. Meanwhile, Uncle Traveling Matt finds a stone lion and assumes the lion is alive. He climbs up and waves, hoping to make friends. Tourists spot him through their pay telescopes. Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Oh, the UK version. Okay, listen to this. While playing chess against himself, the captain, who is their version of Doc, hears a police message on the radio concerning an escaped criminal has been spotted around Fraggle Rock. Constable Pettigrew calls to let the captain know someone has stolen a motorboat from the village. Just then he and Sprocket hear a motorboat approaching. Someone approaches the door, and the captain tells Sprocket to bark, but Sprocket is too afraid, so the captain does it himself. When someone knocks at the door, it turns out to be Commander Ponsonby and his cat. Uncle Matt's postcard is the same, but as usual in the UK version, featured a loud instrumental version of Traveling Matt's theme in the background. After the commander leaves, the captain notices that the door is open and the lights have gone out. The generator has been tampered with, so the captain calls a telephone operator and asks them to send the police. Captain orders Sprocket to be brave and catch the intruder, who turns out to be Ponsonby's cat. Then the police arrive outside. What?
What? All
That's
right.
the UK version?
That's the UK version.
This is all, like, I only learned of the existence of these different versions from your podcast, and
Hey.
this is wild. Like, the Muppet Show, they just dubbed for the most part. Like, every once in a while, they drop in, like, a scene, like a number, but this is a lot of work.
Yeah, which makes sense why there were only a few countries that took them up on this offer to, like, film their own unique Doc and Sprocket scenes. Most countries just filmed over in their language.
Right. I mean, I guess it sort of makes sense for kids too, like the dubbing might just look weird as opposed to dubbing the puppets, which is
right.
less of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's wild.
All right. Do you want to talk about how we can make the world a little fragglier?
How can we make the world a little fragglier?
If you're in a distressing scenario and you feel anxiety and dread, just loudly scream to the sky, "I'm too young to be fricassee."
If you're in a situation where your work is being exploited and you don't have any other options, complain loudly, and hoard your secrets from your boss.
It's okay to compose your own funeral dirge.
Ooh. Adam, would you like to contribute a way to make the world a little fragglier?
I mean, all I've really got is be like Boober, which is really what you all said. I know, Adam, that yours was actually about Junior, but I think Boober would actually do the same. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should all be more like Boober. He's great.
yeah.
And I feel like as we get older, we all identify with Boober a little bit more.
See, I identify with Boober as a child, which tells you a lot about the kind of child I was.
Yep, it does. Alrighty, do anybody got pluggables they want to plug?
Well, let's start with our guest.
Yes.
Thank you again so much for being here with us, Adam. This was such a treat.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me and for making me watch a Fraggle Rock episode. It was a lot of fun.
Woohoo!
I plugged at the top already, but I'll say again, head to Muppeturgy.com or anywhere you get podcasts. We are having fun. There's a lot of episodes at this point. You can skip ahead. We definitely got better as we went along, much like The Muppet Show. So, jump in anywhere you like. We would love to have you around.
Excellent. And yeah, you can find me on social media at Beth Anna Cook. That's Anna with 2 N's. And aside from this podcast, occasionally writing stuff on Tough Pigs.
You can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up on Instagram, JulieGaskell.com if you happen to like some poetry, and then also occasionally on Tough Pigs.
I have a lo-fi hip-hop EP. It is definitely my first EP, but it is remixes of a lot of songs that are really meaningful to me in little moments in video games and TV. If you look for Badger Blossom, all one word, lowercase, on Spotify, you can find it there.
All right, that is it for this episode. Remember to check out toughpigs.com, and we would love it if you would give us a good review on your podcaster of choice, and we will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk. Bam.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
That's it, I think, right?
And there's a guy, doing the musical direction. I should know this name off the top of my head, and I don't.
Oh, sure.
Come on, Beth.
This is what
you know
editing's
this.
This is what editing's
Yeah.
for. He's got a Fraggle named after him, for crying out loud.
Oh, I did see that.
Gillis. Somebody Gillis.
Lou Gillis?